not everybody needs to podcast forever. So when you think of a podcast, you're probably going to imagine like the proto podcast or the podcast, which is a weekly release. Maybe it's a host and a guest talking for about 45 minutes every Tuesday for the rest of time. And that is the most common type of podcast. Most podcasts that we see are interview podcasts where the host is talking to a guest about a topic of mutual interest and of interest to the audience. And it releases on a weekly or more often basis. That's great. It's a really good, really effective cadence to be releasing your episodes at. It's enough time or it's enough releases to get traction quickly and to build momentum with your audience, but it's not so much that it takes over your complete entire work week. That said, it can be too much for a lot of business owners. A weekly release schedule can be a little grueling, especially at the beginning when you're getting used to things. And knowing that it's a project that's kind of going to go on and on and on without an end also has its own sort of wariness attached to it. I know sometimes I think about a podcast that might go on forever and it feels like maybe you better not start that. There's other things going on. I've definitely had that feeling. Maybe you've had too. And something that I think is really interesting about podcasting is that they are just tools. And if something about a podcast doesn't work for you or for your business, you don't have to do it. And that includes having a weekly release schedule. Something that we found over the years that we've been producing is that for a lot of businesses, they need maybe 12 episodes to do a couple of things. They need to explain some things, share some stories, get some objections out of the way, and share some important information that their future clients are really going to need. And that's all they need. That gets the job done. And so releasing a season of podcast episodes is a great way to test the waters. Create 6, 10, 12 episodes of a podcast that are going to do some heavy lifting in your business. It's content you're going to use again, that you're going to refer back to, that people can use. It gets you the title of podcaster. If you're a guest on other shows, it gets you a chance to say, now subscribe to my own podcast while you're at it. Love to have you there. And it can really help you in a lot of different ways in like your sales enablement and in your relationship building with new leads. Podcasts are great for that. And a season can often do as much work as an ongoing podcast will do, depending on your business goals. Now, the caveat here is if you're podcasting for relationship building, you pretty much got to be ongoing because you're never not going to need to do more networking or more or get more connections into your orbit. But for a lot of other business goals, a season, either one or maybe an annual season or a couple of seasons a year is going to be plenty. And if you are not sure that podcasting is going to be a fit for you, the truth is you might hate it. You might try it and you might not like it. And there's a really big difference kind of conceptually and energetically and professionally between planning and completing a podcast season of 12 episodes and starting a project that's meant to be ongoing and then quitting. So test the waters with a season. See if it fits your needs. See if you like it. And then make a decision after that first season about whether or not you want to go on. If you thought this was useful and you'd like some help with your own business podcast, you can book a complimentary strategy session with me where we'll dive into your podcast one-on-one. You can do it at onestonecreative.net. That's ONE, stonecreative.net, and I can't wait to talk to you.